I'm trying to go into the lane and I want to go into that space. The car is shaking a lot. So these are some of the hardest things that an examiner can ask you to do on your driving test. Let's go. Some junctions are on very, very steep hills, just like this one that we're approaching now. If you don't gear down properly, the car is going to struggle and potentially stall. Let me show you. Some learners will approach this either too fast or they'll leave it in second and then they'll try to go up the hill, and right now the car is shaking a lot, and then eventually they'll have to brake hard, stop the car and then go into one, and then might even roll back a bit and then they'll drive on again. This time, instead of leaving in second, I'm gonna go into first just before I get to the giveaway line. So mirror, mirror, signal, and then ease off the gas. Then around now, feel the car's already at 1000 RPMs, get into first and creep up the hill in first gear. So this way I can go nice and slowly and check and then move if it's clear. So parallel parking is difficult at the best of times, but if you add the hill to that now, it's going to be much harder. And the mistake that lots of learners make is they don't get a biting point first before releasing the brake. So if I come off the brake now, see the car goes forward, and then they'll try to get the biting point, but then the car's already rolled too far forward. So to avoid that, get the biting point first, and you know you've got the biting point because you can feel the car vibrating a tiny bit, and once it does that, you can let go of the brake and bring the clutch up a little bit, and then the car will start going back. Yeah, and you can feel the car straining, you feel the clutch straining, and you can add a bit of gas to help it out so that it doesn't strain too much. And then another mistake you might make is bringing the clutch up too high and then down again, and then too high and then down again. You see, the car's going to struggle this way. It's going to keep rocking back and forth. The best way to control this is not to move the clutch too much. So up and then down a little bit to control the speed, and then up again and then down a little bit. Adding a bit of gas to give it a bit of power because it's quite steep here and the car is struggling to go up the hill. And then once I get to that around here, start doing my turns. And if I get too close to the curb, I can just go forward. So going forward now, a mistake that lots of learners make is they bring the clutch up. Because we're on a steep hill, if I bring my clutch up now and then let go, it's gonna go way too fast down the hill. So to avoid that, what I'll do instead is just keep my foot on the brake and my clutch down, and then when I want to go forward, I'll just ease off the brake a tiny bit, like this. Yeah, you see, it still goes forward because the hill is pulling us down. Yeah, once I get enough space, I can then stop the car, get into reverse, get my biting point again, and then do the same technique, looking at my mirrors, straightening up once it's straight, and then brake first, clutch down, handbrake on, neutral. That's how it's done. If the examiner wants you to turn right at the next traffic lights on a dual carriageway like this, they'll normally tell you well in advance. Then once they've told you to turn right, you should start thinking about making your way to the right hand lane so that you can make your turn. What you see a lot of learners do is they'll leave it until they get really close to the lights. I should already be in the right hand lane, but they'll leave it till they get around here, and then they'll start thinking about going to the right. And by now, it's going to be a bit risky. There's a car on my right there. I'm trying to go into the lane. They've moved out the way now. But even if I go here now, it's going to be a little bit late because now there's vehicles coming from that side, and I've left it far too late to do that. So the best thing to do once you hear that instruction is to check your mirrors, signal nice and early, and start moving over to the right hand lane. Let me show you how to do it properly. So you might hear this instruction from a sat nav as well. Once you hear them tell you that you need to turn right at the next lights, check my mirror, signal, looking again in my mirror, and I can see a nice big gap, so I can go in that lane, and then check again, and then by now I'm already in the right hand lane. And if you're in this lane and it's nice and clear, don't go too slowly here. If you're still quite far away from the lights, make sure you're doing the speed limit if it's nice and clear, and then start slowing down as you're approaching it. This way it's much safer and it's much easier. So coming out of a side road and turning right can be really difficult. Because you have to deal with two sides, it can take a long time, and sometimes learners are not patient enough to wait for a safe gap. So here I've got traffic coming from the left, and the right is clear right now, so it should make it a bit easier. I've still got to make sure that this left side is clear as well. Once you see a nice gap on this side, I can go forward into the middle, but there's a car coming now. If I went in the middle right now, that would have been a problem. So now that I can see both sides are clear, I can then make my turn while still checking that it's still clear. So I'm turning right into this high street. It's quite busy on both sides. So this side I can see is clear, but that side is still blocked or it's still busy. So here, when I can see that it's clear on this side, I can go in the middle here. Then this guy is flashing me to go. Then I can join this lane. So when you can see that it's clear on that side, you can go in the middle, and then usually people will let you out from there. Joining a busy roundabout can be really difficult on your test. And right now, this one's not going to be too busy, but on a busy day, this can be really difficult to get onto. We're turning right, third exit, and this is one of those roundabouts that lots of learners fear. This is Apex corner, but you shouldn't really be scared here because you should treat this like any other roundabout. Wait for a safe gap and then go when you're confident to go. So like here, for instance, there's all these cars coming from the right. I'm not gonna go. And the mistake that a lot of learners make is they're only concentrating on cars that are on this side and they forget the cars that are in the roundabout. So we need to worry about them as well, because we're gonna go all the way into the roundabout. We need to make sure that all the lanes are clear. So like now, nothing's coming towards us, all those cars are going that way. Then we can make our move into the roundabout, because if I was to do that before, there were too many cars coming towards us and I could end up getting in their way. So the last roundabout we just did was a spiral roundabout, which means that the lane that we're in took us to our exit. This roundabout here is not a spiral roundabout, so it's going to be a lot harder. And at some point we have to switch lanes to be able to come off comfortably. And if you don't do that, you could end up being stuck in the middle of the roundabout and going round. Let me show you the wrong way first. So starting off on the right, we want to go to the third exit over there. And we're in the middle of the roundabout so far. And here I should be switching lanes, or aiming to switch lanes to the middle lane so that I can come off at the next exit. But what a lot of learners will do, they'll stick to this lane. And then when it's time to come off now, it's going to be quite difficult because we're all the way on this side, but we want to be more towards the left. So now when you're coming off, you have to deal with all these cars here and this bus as well. So it's a lot trickier than if we were in the middle lane or the left lane. We're going to turn right, third exit this roundabout, which is the same one, so it's not a spiral roundabout. And if this time I'm going to show you how to do it properly. That means that when you go in towards the second exit, I'm going to start moving towards the left, so that by the time I'm coming off, I'm more like in the middle lane or the left lane, which is going to make it a lot easier and safer. So I'll go straight to the right lane, and then that's the first exit over there, and I'm still in the right lane. But as I'll go past this section now, I want to aim towards the middle lane. As I'm doing that, I'm making sure that I'm checking my mirrors, especially the left one and the center one, to see what's happening around here as I move towards the left. And I'm not going to signal left yet because I'm not taking the next exit. So like now, checking my mirrors, move over more towards the middle, and then around here, then I can signal left. Check my mirrors again. I can even move over all the way to the left now because it's nice and clear. But if there was a car there, I could have just stuck to that lane there and then come off. If you get asked to do a bay park on your test, you choose where to park. But sometimes you might get into a car park, especially if it's by the test center, where only one space is available. And I've seen this happen before. What you don't want to do here is start too close. So right now, I'm super close to these cars and I want to go into that space on the right. So if I get into reverse now, and I look around, and if I start reversing, you see, look, I'm going straight into the car, and if I'm not careful, I'm going to hit the car. So this time, instead of starting really close, I'm more in the middle of the lane now, so that when I turn in, I shouldn't get into contact with the first car. This way I can go into my bay without affecting this car next to me. And then once I get here, I can start straightening up, make small adjustments, looking everywhere. And then once I'm fully in, I can stop the car and secure it. The key there is to not start really close, but start far away from the cars so that when you turn in, you're not gonna interfere with this car here. So joining a dual carriageway like this can be very tricky. This is a 50-mile-an-hour road, and if I'm not careful, I could come out in front of cars and make them slow down, or even worse. So I need to make sure that I'm looking in my lane, or in the lane that I want to join, in the left-hand lane. And if I see that it's clear for a long while, like now, actually I thought I could go, but then I saw a car coming from around the corner, so I just waited again. So sometimes you might think you can go, but then if you look again, you see that there's a car there. So don't just look and then think, oh yeah, I'm gonna go. Keep checking to make sure it's safe. So like now, I can see it's safe, so then I can make my turn. I want to turn sharply into my lane as well, so that I'm not encroaching in the other lane, and then I'm putting my gas down loads, increasing my speed quite a lot in the lower gears. And then by now, I'm matching the speed of these cars that are already on the dual carriageway. So turning left from a dual carriageway can be just as hard, especially if you're coming from a high speed into a sharp turn. So coming up to a left turn here, and the examiner would have told you nice and early, and the mistake that a lot of learners make is they'll approach it way too fast. So like, it's coming up now with this red car's turning. I should have slowed down much earlier, then they'll leave it like really late. So like now, they'll brake hard, and then they'll make the turn quite roughly. So there I still did it kind of smoothly, but learners will do it much more aggressively than that. So the key for that one is to slow down nice and early to give people behind you a warning that you're slowing down as well. So this time, once I know that I'm turning left at the next junction, I'm going to bring my speed down really early. So mirror, mirror, signal left. I'm going to start slowing down from around here, bringing my speed down, and I can go straight from fifth to second gear. So but before I even get to the turn, I'm already going slow enough, and then I would make my turn. So normally you don't want to stop for pedestrians, but coming off a dual carriageway like that, it's better to just come off. And the guy was waiting on the other side anyway, so it didn't make sense for me to stop in the middle of a dual carriageway. So just make the turn, and then he can cross behind us.